This week in East Brunswick, Sharon Karmazin will be in the studio with Ann Brohl and Kiwanis members Leo DeRozier and George Keithler to discuss the East Brunswick Express soccer team, who recently have been selected along with only one other American team to compete in an international soccer tournament to be held in Germany this summer. Sharon will discuss the team and the fundraising events which have been planned to help pay for their trip. On this week's restaurant guide, Chris Shirley will visit Charlie's Uncle on Route 18. Then, on Consumer Aware, Mary Tenaccio will talk to Township Housing Specialist Betty Ricter about how she can help residents with some of their housing questions. Finally, we'll have a summary of this week's Township Council meeting. Now let's join Sharon in the studio.
Hi, this is Sharon Karmazin at the Library for East Brunswick this week. With me today, I have Ann Brohl. Ann is representing the East Brunswick Express soccer team, and sitting next to her is George Keithler, who's president of the East Brunswick Kiwanis Club, and next to him is Leo DeRozier, who is program chair of that group. Welcome, everyone.
You're welcome.
Okay, my guests are here today to tell us all about a program involving the East Brunswick Kiwanis in sponsorship of an event for the East Brunswick Express soccer team. Can you tell us a little bit, Leo, about what's going to be happening?
Well, the team will be going over to Germany to participate in some tournaments, and it's a little reciprocity actually for the care that the team over here extended to the German team when they were here last summer. They more or less got stranded in the United States, and I think Ann can tell you a little more about how they put them up and took care of them while they were here.
I understand that they were really left in Knoxville with very little transportation and ultimately ended up in East Brunswick, had some very nice games arranged for them, and were taken into New York.
Yes, they were. It was a very nice trip.
And what was done in, in exchange for that?
Well, we received an invitation a few months later to go to Germany for an international soccer tournament, and my husband was very happy and had to get permission from the soccer club, and we've had to do a lot of fundraising. A lot of work was involved in fundraising money for
I
the
understand
team.
So far you've had a very successful candy sale,
Yes.
a marvelously successful spaghetti supper.
Yes. Really
And
nice.
what's the event that's coming up next?
Well, we have on June 10th, we have a Chinese auction with a lot of wonderful gifts donated from the people of East Brunswick, and it's going to be at the East Brunswick High School. And we're really looking for a good evening, a lot of really nice gifts.
There's some people who've never been to a Chinese auction. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is?
Well, some people call it a Chinese auction, others call it a tricky tray. It comes down to the same thing. You are hoping to win the gifts that are spread all over the room on tables with cans in front of them with numbers. And you actually bid for the gift. The number that's called out wins the gift. The gifts on the table are unique. For other Chinese auctions I've been to and others arrange smaller gifts. Because we're only doing this once, we put the gifts on the table at a very nice range, a very unique price. That's how everyone will want to buy extra tickets, hopefully, to put into the can. And
What is the admission cost?
the admission is $3 a ticket.
Oh, that's very reasonable.
It's a good price.
And what are some of your prizes?
The grand prizes that we have a single sew machine, and it's cabinet and carrying case. We have wicker furniture. We have a beautiful oriental vase. It was donated by one of the people in East Brunswick. And so many.
Are you still looking for donations of prizes?
Yes, we are. We're always willing to take a gift to give away for this.
Okay.
It's going to be something else. They have a lot of nice things.
Now, will you mention the date again?
It's June 10th at the East Brunswick High School, and the doors open at 6:30. This gives the people, if you've ever been to one, time to go up and down the aisles to put their tickets in the cans.
And really decide what they absolutely want to win.
What they want, yes. And that's all I can tell you about it.
George, can you tell us a little bit about why the Kiwanis decided to get involved in this?
Well, in order to have a Chinese auction, you have to have a certificate and permit from the Games Commission of the state of New Jersey. And we happen to have such a permit, and that allows us to sponsor this kind of a program.
Why did you choose to do that for this particular team?
Well, the principal aim of Kiwanis is the betterment of the youth in the community. And since this is a youthful athletic club, it's our interest to do all we can to help them out.
Well, it sounds as if it fits in really perfectly with what you
It's
do.
it's in perfect keeping with our organization and the aims of our club.
How many people, Ann, will be going on the trip?
18. There'll be 18 boys.
And how long will they be gone for?
About a month.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be about a month.
Right. What will they be doing while they're in Germany?
Well, they'll be playing soccer, most of all. Mainly they're going to the tournament. After they play the tournaments, they'll be sightseeing, looking at the countryside.
I understand that East Brunswick and only one other team from the United States have been invited to this tournament, so it's quite a prestige thing to have gotten this invitation.
A team from Texas has been invited also, just the 2 teams.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful experience, and the money that's raised will be used to defray the cost of the boys' travel, which I
Yes, the
assume would be
plane.
quite expensive without.
Oh, it is very expensive.
So,
You may want to mention about if anyone wants tickets, they should call.
right, okay. I think that's a really good thing to mention. Now, I understand, I understand that, oh, you see, you've got your mind on it. I understand that all the tickets are going to be sold in advance. Is that true, that
Yes.
you really can't buy tickets at the door? And this is somewhat unusual for this kind of event. You expect to be sold out before your event, right?
Yes, we sure hope so. This way we can
Okay.
guarantee the people to have a seat and be comfortable.
How many people will you accommodate?
400.
400, I see. Okay. And can you tell us the telephone numbers that people can call to get their tickets?
Well, you can call me at home at 247-1277. The other numbers, I believe, are on the screen.
Okay, yes, there are. There are 3 numbers on the screen, and you can call any of those numbers to get your tickets for the East Brunswick Express soccer team Chinese auction, which is on, again, give me the date.
June 10th.
Okay, that's Friday night, sponsored by the East Brunswick Kiwanis Club. And I'd like to thank all of my guests for being here today, and we'll see you at the Chinese auction.
Hi, and welcome to Chris Shirley's Restaurant Guide. I'm Chris Shirley, and here we are today at Charlie's Uncle, which is located in the Village Green Shopping Center off of Route 18 in East Brunswick. And we will be stepping over here to speak with Kevin Maxfield, the head manager. Kevin, you have such a fantastic restaurant here. Can you tell us a little bit about it, please?
Sure. Well, we've been open for almost 8 years. In fact, next month it'll be exactly 8 years. We're the 4th restaurant. The first one was Good Time Charlie's in Kingston, which is right outside of Princeton.
Right.
And then they built Charlie's brother, Charlie's other brother, and then us.
I see. And the decor in here is just fascinating. It's like a turn-of-the-century atmosphere. Can you tell us how all these pieces were acquired?
The owner's personal collection. He acquired the pictures and a lot of the signs from England and Florida.
Oh, my. And how many years' worth of collecting has he done?
I'd say about 15, 16 years.
Oh, my goodness. Can you tell us a little bit about the specialty dishes you have here?
Chris, we have a wide variety of steaks and seafoods on our menu. It's quite a big menu. We're known for our prime rib. We have nightly specials that are delicious. And our head chef, John Benora, has created one this afternoon for you to try.
Oh, how nice.
And that special that he made is shrimp and scallops primavera. And here it is.
Oh, my goodness. This is fantastic. Kevin, this just looks delicious.
Does that look good?
Oh, it looks so good. Can you describe to me what ingredients are in this?
Okay, we have shrimp and scallops sautéed with a variety of vegetables, broccoli, snow pea, cauliflower, there's mushrooms and onions. And then in a separate sautéing pan, he makes a cream sauce.
Can you tell me what's in this cream sauce?
The cream sauce consists of whole butter, cream, Parmesan cheese, an egg yolk, And after the vegetables and the scallops and shrimp are cooked, he adds the cream sauce, continues to cook the dish for another 2 to 3 minutes, and then serves it on a bed of linguine.
That is just fantastic. And it smells just delicious. Now, you had mentioned to me that we would be stepping into the lounge and seeing how a strawberry colada is made.
No, it's a raspberry colada.
Oh, raspberry colada.
And the bartender today is going to make one of those for you.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Okay.
I'd love to see how it's done.
Well, why don't we go on in
Okay.
and try it.
Okay, that should do it. Okay, oh, that looks good.
Oh, that looks fantastic.
Is that a nice color?
Is this the first time you've ever made this drink here?
Well, it's a new drink.
Uh-huh.
Actually, like Kevin said, it's especially made for this program.
Okay.
A little whipped cream to garnish it on top. Okay, a couple straws here. Cute little umbrellas, matching umbrellas. There we go.
Well, the decorations are as nice as the drink. Well, Kevin, this is a very elaborate lounge. It's beautiful in here. Can you tell us a little bit about the entertainment that you have here? I see that you have the band behind us set up and ready to go for this evening.
We have a top 40 band tonight, every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They play the best in dance music. And on Wednesday nights, we have a reggae band that plays reggae music from the islands. It's almost hypnotic.
It's like a Jamaican type music,
Exactly.
correctly? Okay.
And it's almost hypnotic in the sense that you can't help but want to dance to it. Okay. On Tuesday nights, we have a DJ, WRSU DJ Matt Pinfield from Rutgers.
Right.
And he plays very danceable music, and we have complimentary hors d'oeuvres. And we created a dance party.
Oh, that's very nice also.
On Sunday and Monday night, we have New York City comedy. We have professional comedians from Los Angeles and New York. Some of the comics have been seen on Merv Griffin, The David Letterman Show, Johnny Carson, Saturday Night Live, and even on the HBO specials, Night at the Improv.
That sounds great. We'd like to thank you, Kevin, very much. And we'd also like to thank Tony for making these fantastic drinks.
Well, we'd like to thank you for coming down here today.
Thank you. And if there are any other restaurant owners who would care to have their restaurant shown on my show, you could write to me, Chris Shirley, care of Channel 8 at the East Brunswick Library in East Brunswick, New Jersey. And until then, we'll see you in 2 weeks, and good dining.
Good evening and welcome to Consumer Aware. I'm Mary Tenaccio from the Consumer Affairs Office, and tonight I have a special guest on the show. The Consumer Affairs Office works with the other agencies in the township to help disseminate information to you, our residents, and to let you know what's available. The special gal that's my guest tonight is Betty Ricter, and Betty is our housing specialist. Betty, welcome, and thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Mary.
I think what we will do to make it easier for the people maybe to understand is I'll hand the ball to you, and why don't you go through, you know, exactly what your job is and what you can do for them and what you can't do for them.
Okay. I work on a local level, but I work with housing programs that may originate locally or at the state level or at the federal level. One area that I work with has to do with rent leveling or rent control, as people sometimes hear of it. East Brunswick has a rent leveling ordinance which determines how much rent may be increased as leases are renewed. That's a local option. Townships may or may not have rent leveling, and they may design their ordinances to meet their own community needs. I am available to both landlords and tenants who want information on the ordinance, how it's administered, what kind of rent increases are allowable. So if anybody, either a landlord or a tenant, has questions on that, they can call my office. Additionally, I can provide information on the Truth in Renting Act, which is a booklet which incorporates all the state statutes having to do with landlord-tenant laws. Things like eviction, security deposits, maintenance of property, lease renewals. So that although these are state laws, I have information on them and I can be helpful, again, to both landlords or tenants. The second area that I work with has to do with housing rehabilitation. We provide assistance for people of low and moderate income to help rehabilitate, fix up, modernize their houses. We don't have a local program functioning anymore. We did for several years, but when local funding ran out, we dovetailed into the county program. The county uses federal funds. We do the intake work, establish whether or not the people are income eligible, and forward those applications on to the county. The assistance available through the county is what's called now a life loan. The money is loaned to the homeowner. However, it need not be repaid until the house is sold. The homeowner may live there for 20 years. Hopefully they will. However, when it is sold, the principal amount of the loan, there is no interest charged, is repaid so that those monies can be recycled and used for somebody else. So if anybody needs assistance and they are in the low moderate income category with housing repair, they can call my office. The other major area that I work with is trying to facilitate the development of new housing affordable to low and moderate income people. I'll work with developers trying to utilize whatever federal programs are available. Unfortunately, they are becoming non-existent. But the senior citizen building housing that was built, Hall's Corner on Cranberry Road, was built with a federal program. That developer worked through my office. In whatever way we can, either through simplifying procedures, helping to coordinate with other levels of government, we try to help developers who will be developing new affordable housing. The thing that I am, I guess, most frustrated about is that I don't serve as a resource to find people existing affordable housing. My office is called very often by people who are particularly renters who are looking for affordable rentals. And it's a very difficult item to find in our community. I am not a realtor. I can advise them as to how to go about searching for that kind of housing, but I don't have any resources, municipal resources, nor can I serve as a realtor would to refer people.
If there were things, Betty, available in the township, would your office then be able to guide people in that direction if we did have the type of housing that they were interested in? Mm-hmm. Or let's say you heard about a particular unit that maybe they would be interested in. Would you then be able to guide them in that direction, or are you saying because of some law you can't guide them in that direction?
It has nothing to do with law. It has to do with the availability of housing. Mm-hmm. For example, if I get a call from a senior citizen looking for housing, I can certainly give them information on Hall's Corner apartments and refer them there and give them information as to qualifications. I don't, however, rent those units. Mm-hmm. They would have to deal through the management office, but I can give them information on the fact that that building exists. I can also suggest that they might want to pursue that kind of housing in other towns. Although it's difficult, most subsidized housing has a long waiting list. The only rental units that I work directly with are the Victory Gardens apartments on Memorial Drive and Victory Place. That's family housing. We have 12 units. They're all two-bedroom apartments. And all of the tenants there must be low, moderate income, and they are all receiving rental assistance, subsidy payments. However, we are under contract with the county so that when we have a vacancy, we contact the County Housing and Community Development Program. They then refer to us people who have rental assistance certificates, who are eligible for this housing. We then contact them and interview and make tenant selections. So we cannot skip that step
Right.
And nobody can call me and say, I would like to apply for that. But I also give information on how to get on that rental assistance list. It's rare that I would have information on a particular affordable rental unit. Most of the major garden apartment complexes in town are really not affordable to low moderate income people. The best other source, and I don't know how to advise people to go about finding them, would be two-family homes, three-family homes that might be renting for lower rents.
But that most likely would have to be word of mouth or through a realtor. It wouldn't come out of the township.
Right. We are trying our best through the Housing Advisory Committee to find creative ways of creating new affordable housing. One study which we've just completed and recommendations are being forwarded to the Planning Board has to do with allowing single-family homeowners to convert a portion of their home into an accessory apartment. Our recommendation is that this would be done as a conditional use, which would be heard by the Planning Board, and there is a long list of prerequisites for the unit before it would be approved. But this is one possibility.
Might be a start.
Right. Perhaps we can use our existing housing stock, create smaller rental units within that that would probably be much more affordable than what you'll find on the commercial market.
Oh, it would be a start. And Betty, I thank you so much for giving, all the information out. Perhaps if you have a telephone number or the hours that you're in the office, you might like to share it with the people now. So if they have any questions, they can give you a call during the week.
I can be reached at the Office of Planning and Community Development. The number there is 390-6870. My office is only open part-time and my hours vary according to need. But if somebody needs to reach me, they can always call the office, leave a message, and I will certainly get back to them.
Okay. Thank you, Betty, for being on the show tonight. And thank you all for tuning in to Consumer Aware. We hope that the information we provided this evening will be helpful to some of you, either now or maybe in the future. Keep it in mind. See you again next week. Thank you for tuning in.
At this week's Township Council meeting, the possibility of an ordinance banning bingo after 12 midnight in East Brunswick was discussed. Several organizations came out against the proposal, including the Elks and the East Brunswick Reformed Temple. They argued that because of their locations in lesser populated areas of town, that their midnight gaming activity did not disturb the peace and so should not be banned. Councilman Joseph Hudak supported these organizations, suggesting that rather than pass a blanket ordinance, that each case should be dealt with individually. The measure was tabled pending further investigation by Township Attorney Bertram Bush. Also discussed was the Resource Recovery Steering Committee's recommendation that Bernard D. Goldstein be hired as special township consultant in environmental medicine.
What does the steering committee expect Dr. Goldstein to do for us that he couldn't do as a member of the EPA?
I think they expect him to find out the potential damage to our health if this facility goes in, since he apparently is the world's leading authority on air pollution sickness.
But I just wondered if he couldn't do it.
Do you know the state has set and released their new standards, air quality standards?
No, nobody's told me about that.
Okay, and I
I've had no
think
report about that. I don't know what the standards are. It would be nice to
I don't know
have
the
it.
standards
Yeah.
either. I do know that the DEP is going to be having a public hearing on Thursday at the on Rutgers campus. We're at the Labor
Center.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Well, I think that's the first time that I will learn anything about the new standards. But I think that somebody this gentleman's expertise is needed to review those standards.
I certainly don't doubt his expertise. I mean,
No, I don't either. After seeing the resume.
Credentials a mile long here,
That's
but
unbelievable.
yeah.
Well, what he will be able to do is provide us with expert testimony at the public hearings on the specifics of the project when Wheelabrator Fry is heard before the DEP. And we need somebody with that kind of expertise to do that.
We have to have the very best we can get because they have to find the standards, even if Wheelabrator Fry does meet the state and federal standards and guidelines. we hope that he can find something that they aren't meeting.
Well, you know, I think maybe you folks are getting the wrong idea about my questions. It's not that I don't think we don't need him. I think we do need him. All I'm trying to do is find a way we can get him to do what we need to have done without
Paying.
You only get what
paying
you
him a
pay for.
minimum of $10,000, which is what the memo suggests.
But you only
Let
get
me
what
say
you pay
this,
for.
that we talked about that in the steering committee. There will be a certain criteria set up and get his time to that criteria. And by getting to that criteria, he will be directed in certain phases, so it won't take up too much time. It may be, it seems that $1,500 for 8 hours work.
He only needs about 8 hours,
But-
right?
But that 8 hours is going to be meaningful to East Brunswick.
I hope so.
We're really going
It's
to
a heavy price.
zero in. We're not going to zero Dr. Goldstein in on minor problems. They're going to be major problems, and he's not going to spend that much time, like go short, to go through reams and reams and reams of paper. He will be given a task and to give us the reports on our specific needs.